Today I want to go over how to buy or trade for a guitar that's used and you just don't want to get stiffed in the deal. You want to make sure that it's a good guitar before you buy it or trade it or whatever. So I'm going to kind of try to make this video to show you things to look for, and also kind of run through setting up a guitar that you got that isn't 100% there, but you know that's what you bargained for. So on this guitar here, I'll tell you the first and really only thing I checked whenever I bought it. I was in a parking lot and I didn't plug it in. I didn't care if the electronics worked or not. And that is because I know how to fix the electronics in this guitar if they go bad. Thankfully, guitar electronics are very simple when it comes to fixing them, and I can get into that later. But what I do want to show is what I did check for. So first off, I picked it up, I put it in my hands, and I played it for a second, just tapping a few notes on it, and I was like, oh man, cool. Besides the color of this being very like bright and contrasty and looking cool, and not normally a color that I would go for, but the longer I've actually owned this, the more I think it's cool. It felt great in my body, so first thing I did was play it. Second thing I like to do is to look down the neck, and normally I'll hold the guitar up. So let's see, I'll hold the guitar up like this when standing, and I don't know if you can really see it that well. The GoPro is going to curve the footage, so it's probably not a good reference anyway, but I'll look down this side of the body and this side of the body, and I'll check to see that that is straight, that it's not bowed too much either way. If the neck is in good condition, and this one was great, it was straight, or at least straight enough for me to be like cool with the deal, then yeah, the biggest things you want to stay away from, in my experience, is and this is stuff that I don't want to fix, or maybe it's tough to fix. So thankfully, this is a bolt-on neck, meaning that if I ever really had to, I could replace this neck, but I don't want to because the headstock matches. So when I check guitars, I will check that both sides are straight. Yeah, I want a straight neck guitar. I don't want like a really curved one, like either like a really bowed neck like that or like that. You want it as straight as you can see it. So the fact that I saw that the neck was straight and it looked good, I was like, sweet, I'm sure if the electronics don't work or whatever, I can fix all that. But I wanted this. I gave this a quick look over. You can feel all the tuning machines. These are fine. Like, if it's one of these things to where the biggest thing is the neck. So my buddy got kind of shafted. He put $100 into a guitar that he was getting off Facebook Marketplace, and it was Les Paul style guitar, so the neck wasn't separated right here. It wasn't bolt on. It's built into it. It's like glued in, and it's just a pain in the butt to fix those necks, and not something that's easy to do. And his had a twist in it, so I did what I could to help him get it out. I did some truss rod adjustments, but stay away from twisted neck guitars. Those are done. End of life. Know what you want out of the trade or in the purchase. If you want to buy a guitar and you want it to be working right from the bat, then test for that. Look to make sure that the neck's straight. Test that the tuners feel good, they're not wobbly. Play it for sure. Play that guitar and plug it in. If you're able to, plug it in at their place, wherever you're getting it, or if it's like in a parking lot and you really want to play it, you want to make sure it works, then bring a small, like buy one of those small little battery powered amps. You can get them off Amazon for $50 just to simply test it in a parking lot kind of a thing, and make sure it works. So for this guitar, like I said, the only thing I really worried about was the neck. Everything else I can fix. So yeah, that's on to my next point. Is if you are willing to fix it, then cool. Like, buy something or trade for something that you're willing to trade into or fix. So for instance, if you know that it has bad tuning machines, but you want to put locking tuners there, a lot of people like doing that mod. So bad tuning machines are not a deterrent for you, then do that. In fact, use it as a negotiating tactic. Like, oh yeah, actually the tuners feel pretty awful. Would you do $50 less or whatever? However you want to negotiate that. Pickups. If one of them or two of them don't work, don't let that scare you. My buddy actually, for the longest time on his Jackson, his neck pickup didn't work, and he had the guy who had it before him put in some invaders and they didn't work. I think I actually had the guitar on this channel. I'm not sure yet, but I'd have to go back and check. But they weren't even soldered in. So it was a really easy thing for me to go and do, but it wasn't something that he could go do on his own. So just be aware of, if you're trading or buying a guitar, make sure that you can do the work for the guitar. If it's not in the condition that you want, I know that seems like a no-brainer, but sometimes people want to take on bigger projects than they feel. Just make sure that you can do the work you want. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that for this video, and in my next video I'll show what I do to this guitar. It's not 100%. There's some intonation issues with the bridge here, so I'm going to fix that, and then some action as well. So I got to adjust these posts here to get the action, and then I'm going to clean up this fretboard and polish the frets like I've done in my other videos. But I thought I'd make a cool video out of it on its own. I wanted to kind of show this guitar off because it looked really fun, and it's a fun and cool way for you to learn how to buy or trade guitars, or how I buy and trade guitars at least. So hopefully this taught you something. Check your guitars out. If you have any other things that's like, oh yeah, and also check for XYZ, then throw that in the comments. Alright, and so that is what I have to say about this sweet Schecter Diamond Series C6 Elite. Hopefully you guys will get to hear this soon. I'm working on some fun stuff in the background, and also I have a full-time job, so keeping me busy. But anyway, see ya.